Brought to you by the Heat Ratio Sports Network. This show brings the temperature of sports to a whole new level. Whether it's a local opinion or a national agenda, everything is fair game. Remember, everyone has an opinion, but only few can back it up. Now sit back, crank up the volume, and if you think you can handle it, get ready for the heat.
And we're live right here. We're back. Last week of a week off. Heat Ratio Live brought to you by, obviously, Heat Ratio Sports. Give us a follow on all social formats. And again, our wonderful host here in beautiful Bucks County in Southampton, 2nd Street Pike, Steam Pub, the home of the real-time draft beer list. Every single time they crack a beer, a different keg, there's tapped right online. The only people to do it. So you know, if you're in the neighborhood and you see one that you like, boom, you come over and you check us out. And as always, our proud sponsor of Prime Roofing, where they rescue your roof the right way the first time. Boys, we had a lot going on this week, man. Right? A lot going on. I mean, from the Phillies, obviously the Bash brothers almost. No disrespect to McGuire and Canseco, but we're going to have our own Bash brothers this year, which is going to be pretty interesting. And then we get the Eagles major trade. Right, Al? We don't know what the hell's going on with the Sixers. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about a little Giannis tonight. Kind of like, who would you pick out of the top three to build your franchise around? I think it's a great question because I've seen some stuff out of Giannis that I haven't seen in a long time. Much respect to him. My son's listening. You're right, AJ. I was wrong for saying he was overrated. And then we will talk about the trivia question, the Prime Roofing trivia question, as always. But, boys, I know we got the Jigsaw Chronicles coming up later on, right? But I had this really, really strange thing happen to me today. And I don't know why. The Jigsaw web just finds me.
First of all, what's new?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
As
like
Tony turns.
I don't understand, man. I don't understand. But check this out. Tell me this isn't one of the weirdest things you ever heard of, right? So I have an appointment today, doctor's appointment, and it's in the medical building of a hospital. So, they have the parking meter, right? So I go in, the parking ticket's out of service, no parking tickets. So I'm like, sometimes you just pay as you leave. So I go to an appointment, come out, get my car, roll around, come up to the gate, the thing's down. There's a guy standing there. Kind of look a little strange, no uniform, just like a normal guy. And he goes, $10. And I was like, yeah, 10, right? So I'm like, $10. I'm like, I didn't even give you a ticket. I was going to ask you for a ticket, right? And he says, oh, yeah, the ticket's out of service. I'm like, well, how do you know it's $10? You don't even know how long I've been here, right? So then the guy's looking at me, he goes, yeah, you know what? You're right. How about $5? I'm like, what is this, a negotiation? Right? So then I'm like, wait a second. So I'm like, dude, I ain't even got no cash on me. Like, do you take card, right? So then he goes, well, how about $1? I'm like, wait a second. I'm not understanding something. So we just negotiating a parking fee. We went from 10 to 5 to $1. You're wearing like a sweatsuit. Did you just sneak off the street into this little commode, and now you're trying to get, how many people probably paid him $10?
Do you think he pushed the thing down?
Right. Well, he said, you know what, just go ahead. He lifted it up and I was on my way.
Oh my God.
Like, who does any, like, why does this stuff find me? I don't understand. Like, and I can't make this shit up. This is for real. Like, I could not believe it. Like, I was just like, wow, I was blown away. And I was thinking that parking lot's packed. The poor old lady or the old couple that went in there, they're scrounging out the $10, right? And this dude's probably making $300-$400, right?
In your center console.
Yeah, but the thing that was killing me is like, well, how about $1? Bro, $1? You're doing this for $1? Like, it was just off the wall. But
now, did you call the hospital?
No, it's not even worth my time.
Ripping off old people.
You know what I mean? That poor guy, man. Just like, is it that rough?
He's not poor after that day.
Dude, he was hitting it hard, man. You know that. There's a lot of cars in that hospital, but let's get right to the Philadelphia Eagles, because what's funny about this? I was about to do a final judgment on Howie Roseman the other day and when he signed the extension, and when I heard Jeff Lurie talk, and he was talking about why Howie was giving the extension, what Howie's been able to do. And again, listen, if you've been in a bubble somewhere, the Eagles pull off a major trade with the New Orleans Saints prior to the NFL draft. Do they come out winners? What does it all mean? Dan, you were the first person to text me. You threw it out there. I'm in work. I see it. I was like, all right, first thing I was like, oh, here we go again. Another Howie move. What's going on? But is it wrong to already say like that they're winners from this? Because this is a lopsided trade to me, right? Or am I wrong?
No, A, is it lopsided? It is lopsided. B, I don't understand why the Saints would do it. They are so not in win now mode. Unless they are gung-ho for a quarterback in this draft that they're going to go all out for. But
something else.
Yeah, I don't know though. I mean, that Jameson Winston is not, I don't think, in their long-term plans, and I think they must have a QB they really love. But this is the dichotomy that is Howie Roseman, right? You've got the side of him that is a manipulator of trades and a manipulator of bad contracts to always move the money back, correct?
Absolutely.
And then he's the, at times, horrible drafter. So, but, if you take him in his totality, this is part of being a general manager. And I've been one of the hardest Howie bashers there.
You have.
And I still really don't like him. If I was starting a team and you said he has to come on board, I'd be like, great.
You guys were killing me, by the way. Remember when I was sticking up for Howie?
Yeah, you
killing me.
Well, but I'm saying, I think Al and I were like, you can stick with being the cap guy. And, you can, I guess, be a consultant when it comes to trades and stuff. But I am not letting you look at the draft board. That would be my mindset with Howie.
He definitely, Al, he has to stay in his lane, right? Like when they tell him, like, is he going to though? That's the question.
Hell no.
No.
No. I mean, why would he?
He's great at these things.
Yes.
These type of trades, moving up. He did the Carson Wentz type of move when it took Miami's lunch money with Maxwell and moving
Even to get Devontae Smith.
Yeah. He does these type of things beautifully.
Yes.
How can you be mad at the guy? He got a 1, a 2, and a 3 out of the Saints.
Yeah, and the thing also, Al, is, Tony, it clearly looks like a slam dunk win-win. But again, if we fast forward in time and then that second rounder is a J.J. Arcega-Whiteside type pick, and that first rounder is a Jalen Reagor type pick,
Right.
then it's like, okay, in theory, we should have won, but look who we drafted.
True.
So but
Very
yeah,
true.
you just have to. Last year's draft was solid to me. Howie doesn't mess up in the top 10 range because it's just hard to screw that up. But I give him kudos for Landon Dickerson.
Yeah. How about Jordan Mailata?
Yeah. Well, that was, I think, a combination of probably his scouts saying you got to take this guy.
Well, did you hear?
Oh.
Did you hear Lurie about that?
That was nauseating. That was nauseating.
Yeah, I heard Lurie about that.
That was all me.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, Jeff, go get him, Jeff.
I was vacationing in Australia and I happened to catch a rugby game.
Stop, Jeff. Stop.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was nauseating. But get it. I'm sorry.
I was thinking about Lori when you said that. And I was listening to All About the Birds, Adam Kaplan and
Inside the Birds.
Inside the Birds. Excuse me.
Hey,
Adam
All About
Kaplan.
the Birds. Hey, I'll give a shout out to Jeff and Johnny. They do a great job over there, man. They're racking up sponsors as well. So shout out to them as well.
Yeah,
All About the Birds.
Adam Kaplan and
Jeff Mosher,
Mosher.
friend of the show, Mr. Jeff Mosher.
Yes, sir. So, and they were saying a lot of like BS meter on a lot of stuff that Jeff was saying. Just saying that if you're gonna put it out there, then put everything out there. Don't put half truths and stuff that you know is true and isn't true, and just gonna take the credit for it and say, I didn't have anything to do with that. And Adam's like, I know for sure certain things that you said were false, but I'm not going, go any further than that.
Well, Adam
It-
wants
it
to
was
keep his
very
credential.
Yeah. He went far. He went to the tippy, and then he stopped.
Yeah, he
Came
was like,
back.
all right,
Yeah.
that's enough.
He got buzzed by somebody.
Speaking of Adam, checking in, said, what's up, guys? Sorry I couldn't make it this time. Great show. Adam, you're always welcome, man. We completely understand. Probably better off because it's supposed to get nasty with rain later. So
True.
when my man driving. My man Rich checking in says, Howie can't go near a draft. Only one Pro Bowler during his drafting, his draft time. He says this trade.
Carson.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. He said this trade is a great trade. You knew it wasn't. They weren't keeping all 3 first rounders, especially paying the 5th year. Exactly, and we brought that up. Like we knew that you couldn't possibly do that, and I think that's the genius part of this trade. Dan, is you still have 2 first-round picks.
Well, there's so many levels to this,
and not in the 20s.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. And if the Saints turn out to be this stink bomb that we think they probably will be, this could be a top 10 pick.
They're gonna blow.
Right. So
sorry.
The thing about the 3 first-round picks, you're right. They were never going to happen from the perspective of cost. You can't afford to have 3 number 1 picks. The average player in that range, their contract will be like $14-15 million. And then what if they're all pretty good and they all are due that next deal? You can't sign all 3 of them, type of thing. Like we should have 3 stud picks, right? Like that should happen.
Right. Yep.
So, but and now the naysayers are like, oh, this again. What's Jalen Hurts thinking about that? They're setting themselves up for a quarterback next year, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
but
not.
what if he plays well?
Right.
If off-season training. Listen, I heard he was meeting with a guy in California.
Can I ask you a quick question on that?
House.
Why has that been so quiet? Why? Or normally they want to broadcast it all over the place, but it's been very quiet about that. Can you answer why?
Maybe I hate to say the man's name, but you know how like every time we see what Ben was doing in the offseason, we all got nauseated by it.
Okay.
Maybe and Jalen's a low-key guy, and maybe he doesn't want to advertise that he's working on deficiencies. You know what I'm saying?
It's just crazy that Howie keeps winning these. I mean, that Miami deal that he got was a win.
That's an all-timer.
Right? Think
Yes.
about that, right?
Good.
And the thing about Howie is you would think like maybe he was like a Jim Irsay, like this big intimidating figure. He's a little nerd. So he's got to be smart as hell, right? Because that's the only way he's getting over on these people. He's not intimidating. Imagine Howie Roseman coming, hey, guys. Hey, I want to talk to you about that number 17 pick. Like, I'd be like, what? Like, who? Like, where's your dad? Like, like, I'm just saying, like, so it's not like it's an intimidating factor by him. He's just probably really smart. It really is. He crunches these numbers and he does a hell of a job doing it. We can say what we want. One thing I will say is how many 3 and 13 seasons do we have under Howie Roseman as a GM? Honestly. I mean, we are. I know you hate this word, and this is so far off of Jigsaw's theory here, but we are competitive more times than not.
Sure.
And a lot of that is because he has the firepower to make draft day trades. He has the firepower to sign free agents and to sign guys to extension and keep in his own players. So I don't know what else you can ask from the dude. Seriously.
And I still think something's coming.
I do too.
We have a lot of time. We talked a couple weeks ago about, oh my God, he's sitting on his hands. What is he doing? And I said, hey, we got draft. We got, June cuts. I mean, we got training camp. We got a lot of time left for him to do some, just major little small pickups here and there. We still need a corner.
Yep.
Whether we're going to draft one,
definitely,
or bring what's the name
Nelson back.
Nelson, we could bring him back.
They're talking about Stephon Gilmore.
You don't know where he's coming up. He's cooking in that kitchen in there. So everybody just relax and let him do his thing.
Like Aaron Rodgers said, relax.
If he murders this draft, what is everybody going to say then?
Well, that's the thing.
Well, it goes back to
he had a good last one.
It goes back to our opening statement, essentially. He's great at the
He's not good at picking receivers.
Part.
He's not good at picking receivers.
No.
At the end of the day, right?
But
or depth linebackers.
How many championships does Tom Brady have without the Patriots?
Yeah, you're right.
He has one, right? But how many wide receivers have the Patriots drafted?
No,
Yeah.
they've been miserable with that.
Yes.
And they were
So not everybody
fools for
is
signing Aguilar too.
right. So not everybody's good at everything. Certain things you're better at than
We're
others.
provincial with our
Dude.
thinking for sure.
Well, but we don't think like that.
Tom
They have
Brady.
championships. We can't.
Think about
sit
that.
on
You say Tom Brady made Jabbar Gaffney a household
Right.
name. Think
Yeah.
about that,
Right.
right? A guy we had on our team,
Right.
Yes.
right? So yeah, I mean, and listen, Adam checking in. Adam, this is kind of the consensus, but I disagree. Howie is a weasel. I understand why they signed him again, but again, he's Laurie's golden boy. And again, that is the consensus. But I honestly, how crazy it is, I don't feel this way at all. I actually am very comfortable with Howie Roseman as my GM. I know it's not typical Jigsaw that you're used to, but I look at the landscape and I look around the NFL and teams that are consistently competitive, and the other teams are just falling apart at the seams. They can't get anything right. I don't disagree with Jeff Lurie. Sorry, I don't.
I'm to the point where I'm going to be shocked if we don't have at least 2 to 3 more moves coming.
Yeah,
that everybody going to be like, oh wow.
We're gonna get it.
Like if Gilmore could sign at 9 o'clock tonight.
Yep.
You don't know.
You have no idea
know what he's doing and what he's cooking up. We have cap room.
Yep.
We could do some more trading. You don't know. That's actually a great thing as an Eagles fan. You don't know when something's going to come over the wire and be like, wow.
That's true.
When that trade hit last night, everybody was like,
yeah,
wow.
like what that came out of no whispers.
I mean,
that came out of nowhere.
Breaking everywhere. My phone was clink, 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 clink,
I know. I know.
Like, what is going on?
I know. It's crazy.
And that's where I think with Howie that it's way too early, because so much could happen. And before I lost my train of thought, but my other
Come on, Teach.
I know. Listen,
What's going on
that's
here?
probably why I'm losing my train of thought. But the other quote rumor that's out there is DK Metcalf, right?
And we talked about that. I don't
got
know.
some info on that too.
Well, my thinking is that regardless, even if it was true, let's say they were shopping, which I don't think they are. I don't think there's any way, shape, or form they go in that area, because what's it do? It drums up. You had to give all this capital, all this money to the guy you should have drafted. They're staying away from him. I guarantee it.
I don't think they're giving up anything to get DK Metcalf, in my opinion.
No, because again, it shows a major wart
Yes.
that they had to deal with a couple years ago.
There's no way. Rich
Right.
says, remember how he did learn under Joe Banner, his fatal flaw. He taught him doesn't value linebackers to draft in the first round. I still never, Rich, I agree with you there. We never understand. I'll never get it. No idea why they don't value linebackers. I just had to watch Bobby Wagner sign.
Linebackers, running backs, or safeties.
Yeah, 1 year deals for this person, 1 year deal for that person. You
I
cut
think
them halfway through the year.
Rich nails it here. He says Roseman drafting bothers me, but otherwise, all around as a GM does a good job.
That's what I said.
I agree. I think that's spot on, and I think that's exactly where we are with Howie. And like you said, Al, nothing's done. Nobody's done. We don't know what's coming up. We don't know what's next, but we do know it can happen at any given time.
So I was listening to Howard Exkin on the way over.
Oh,
and he said it's teams calling. All his reports are coming out that people are interested, but Seattle's not answering. They're not. He's not available. He's not available.
He's not available. Which is crazy.
They're not even taking the calls to ask, all right, so what would you give me even if he was available?
That's stupid.
Howard's saying that nobody is can't even put an offer in because Seattle won't talk to him. That's what he's saying.
That's because
crazy.
DK started the whole thing himself, right?
He actually was on
his
Twitter the other
account.
day. Yeah, saying I haven't heard anything. I don't know anything about
He was
that.
on Twitter showing out his abs, man.
Yeah.
He got me excited. Jesus Christ.
The thing that
Wish I had abs like that.
Yeah, my God.
Jesus.
I'll take a 1-pack.
I'll take a half.
But with the thing that escaped me was when everyone's saying that Howie's had a bad.
I don't know. Full transparency. I'll take a half. God, I'm sorry, Dad.
No, the thing that escaped me when I was going on before the DK statement was that, they're saying Howie's had a horrible offseason. I'm thinking, listen, if anything, if some of the deals that these players got were presented to the Eagles, I'm glad that he passed. You have to overpay. No, you don't have to overpay. No, I don't want to overpay for Christian
You
Kirk.
overpay
I don't
when
want to
you're ready to
overpay
win,
for
win
Tyreek
a
Hill.
Super Bowl.
Plus, we don't, we're not into Tyreek Hill's character, but stuff like that. I don't, Russell Wilson didn't want to come here. Don't beat him up on that. Deshaun Watson didn't want to come here. You can't beat him up on that. So I can't. Allen Robinson probably didn't want to come here.
And they tried.
Yeah.
They tried. They got outbid. And if you had the choice of going to the world champions or coming to the Eagles, there's no brainer on that. And then they tried to get Ridley, and he did the stupid thing with the betting. So It's not his fault that all of these things didn't happen.
I agree. The last thing I want to do when you're not ready is to overbid. And again, part of the intrigue, even if what Al just said, things happen last second, even if things don't happen in the last second, let's get the intrigue of the draft out of our system and see how that turns out. Because we might be so wowed by the draft, because let's face it, when we watch the draft and we watch the draft Knicks like Kuiper and company, Daniel Jeremiah.
Yes.
When they're like,
legend.
So-and-so would look great right now. And then we never pick that guy.
No.
Now, if we start landing the names that all these experts are, quote, saying we should take, and then we're like, oh, my God, we instinctively know it was a good draft, then, maybe we're like, oh, my, all right.
Yeah, we have the guys, everybody's like, is he on your list? Wait, hold on. And you start to, I think he's at 181. Like, and you just traded to 15. Like,
right.
So that's what happens to us. Rich check-in says players that don't want to come and you don't overpay just to get a guy when you're not a player or two away. I again completely agree, which is why I like what they have done. And again, make sure, as always, you're following us here at Heat Ratio Sports, following at Steam Pub, brought to you right here in Bucks County, and make sure you're following at PAPrime.com for a roof rescue for any issues you have with your roof. Dude, another insurance paid roof. I'm telling you, man, Prime Roofing, they know what to do. So check them out at Prime Roofing PA on all social formats, www.primeroofingpa.com. So let's do this, boys. Number one, we're keep baseball for last because right now we're looking at the Sixers game right here with the Indiana Pacers. And I got to add, Al, I'm going to go right to you first because I know you got a lot to say on this. And I was having a discussion today, and we were talking about what's going on with the Sixers. And I was trying to figure it out for the life of me, saying, what is going on? Like, what happened in those first 5 games that are not happening right now? Because it looks like a completely different team. And it's not from lack of talent. And again, what is the fix? Is James Harden still hurt? The mystery surrounding James Harden. Is it Doc Rivers? There's so many different things now. I mean, this is typical Philadelphia, and this is what kills me. We finally get something going on, and now all of a sudden the coach sucks. Now all of a sudden the scheme's terrible. Now all of a sudden we got no bench. And Al, before you even mention it, can somebody please do me one favor? I'll pay for it. I'm good. But can somebody get DeAndre Jordan a new pair of shorts that actually fit? That dude's out there wearing my kids' shorts. Like, I don't even know what's going on. Like, I think he's just so big and so strong, but he's got to get a different pair of shorts, man. I'm just saying. Go back to the Weber days and get some baggy shorts, for Christ's sake, man. Those things are like nut huggers to the ultimate degree.
Bird bottle shorts?
Yeah, these are straight nut huggers. These are like Danny Ainge.
I wanted to pay attention to that. Now you're going to make me
look watch him. So everybody watching right now, when DeAndre Jordan comes in the game,
watch him dribble down the court.
You might get hit with something that you might not want.
Dribbling without the ball.
Just throwing it out there. He's flying around free. That's for damn sure. But hey, Al, what the hell's wrong with the Sixers, man?
Couple of things.
Okay.
So first, he was hard when he first got here. If you notice, and if you were watching, he was going overboard on being selfish.
Selfless.
So he was passing it and he was looking to pass it. So everybody would do the same thing. So it kept moving and kept moving and kept moving and kept moving. All right. And that was in the first 5 games. And then he would get his points because he's Harden. At times now, the ball sticks too much and it's not moving like it should. You don't get movement at all. I see too much standing around.
Yes.
And then you go where you get laps on defense. And now it's used to be where you be a lapse for 2-3 minutes. Now it's like 4, 5, 6 minutes where you're really not playing any defense. And we can't have that. All right. Another point. I don't know why they don't realize it, but Tobias should be starting off the game getting his shots. You know Harden can get his shot anytime he wants to. Maxi's going to get his shots, and Embiid definitely going to get his shots. So why not go to Harris and get him started and get him going from the very beginning? You can't wait till the second quarter till everybody goes out and then you want to get Harris started. It's way too late for that. In my opinion, I would get him started every game. The ball's going to go through him first. And then you get the shooting. I mean, my man Ruben Frank posted some posted some horrific stats on Harden in the fourth quarter, like the last 5-6 games, and he's been very, very bad.
Are you talking about here? Since he's been here?
Yeah, since he's been here in the fourth quarter. I mean,
he hasn't been good.
Bad. So even on the good games, he's had bad shooting nights, even in the fourth quarter. So I mean, it's a lot of combination of things. Like I said, when the first trade was first made, I never thought that it was going to be this year, because it's not just a snap your finger and we're going to win the chip just because we got Harden. It don't work like that. You got to get the right pieces. Everybody has to be in the proper mind frame. You have to have everybody know their role. It's only been literally like 17 games or 18 games, something like that, of them playing together. So it doesn't just work like that. You put somebody on there and you win. So it's a lot. It's not just one thing. And we got to figure it out. And we got what, 4 more games?
Yeah, I mean,
3 more games after tonight.
We're in a stretch run, bro. I
it
don't
is
want to
what
hear
it is. You got to figure it out.
I don't want to hear it. I mean, simple question before I get to you, Dan. See what you think's wrong. Al, first or second round exit, is Doc out?
No.
Okay.
No way that they're going to make that move.
Sure
I
about
see the
that?
stupid rumors he could go to LA and all that stuff. What? You're not doing that. First of all, Harden said in his presser the first day he came here for Doc.
You believe that?
I don't know.
He came here for Joe.
Did he have to say it?
Yeah, he did.
He didn't. No, he didn't have to.
Did.
You didn't have to say
Why?
I came to Doc. You didn't even have to mention that at all. You
I
just
think
said
you
I
do.
wanted to come to a good team and play with Joe.
Yeah, I think you add the Doc Rivers effect in there specifically because he's a veteran and he wants to understand. He wants to form that relationship right away, whether it's real or not. Right? That's the way I look at it.
You could say that. Let me say one thing. I'm tired of please. Can we stop saying everything is Doc's fault? When we win, nobody mentions anything. When we lose, everything is Doc's fault and he's the worst coach in the league and get him out of here. Fire him right now. Can we please stop saying that? It's so annoying.
I don't know,
every time we lose. Every time. If we win the last 4 games right now, and we won 2 straight so far, and we'll win 6 games into the playoffs. And as soon as we lose 1 game, it's Doc's fault.
But what do we do for the years with the Philadelphia Eagles when we lost NFC Championship games? It's Andy's fault.
I get it.
Right? He doesn't know how to adjust. He doesn't know how to pivot in big games.
Everything is not Doc's fault. Doc Embiid has 7 turnovers one of these games, the other game.
Listen,
and nobody mentioned that Embiid had 7 turnovers.
But here's the problem.
35.
Answer me this. Because I like this discussion here, because this is the shit that pisses me off. Listen, I'm not one of the guys that always say it's Doc's fault, not Doc's fault. But what I will say is you look around the league, right? You look at teams like Boston. You look at teams like Miami. You look at teams like Phoenix, right? There's no friggin' excuses, right? These teams, no matter what, they still win. And it's always the Sixers, no matter what. Like, I got in this discussion today on Win Daily. Dude, again, follow at Win Daily Sports. You'll find every single day we're doing content over there as well when it talks to DFS sports betting. And we had a discussion about the MVP race, okay? About Jokic, about Giannis, about Devin Booker, right? Joel Embiid. Well, here's the thing, though, Al. This is what how much more can Joe do? So, like, we go through something every single year. So it can't always be the players, right? Well, we don't have an Eric Spoelstra, right? We don't have a Monty Williams. And unfortunately, that could be the X factor going forward.
Well, can I
Yeah, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I want to ask Sal this question also. It's funny, and Tony probably would agree with this. A lot of my passion of watching things is based on the player props I've got going on in certain games. So
that's not wrong with that, man.
No, but no,
I love it.
Obviously, we're all religious Sixer watchers, but in this particular game, not only am I a religious Sixer watcher, I had Shake Milton for a significant bet, right? That
might have been the first mistake.
But it was believe me, he basically, you and I could have scored more points than him and won the bet. So I'm watching him standing still in the corner for 10 minutes, just standing there while Harden's doing his thing, and I'm like, shake, move, do something.
Shake, move, baby.
And then there was a whole sequence in the game. I can't think which game it was. If it was the game they lost against Detroit, I think it might have been that game. But I think I even texted Half Court Heat, which I know you generally follow that handle.
He is that handle.
Right. Where's the timeout?
My man's taking names.
You remember
man.
I sent a text from the MG teach. I said, where the timeout should have been 5 minutes ago. I
remember that.
They blew a lead.
Yeah.
Their offense was beyond stagnant. That falls to what Tony with. That's coaching. I mean,
but
those
does,
moments happen too often now.
To give him an excuse, he does that a lot because he wants to see if you can get out of. Phil Jackson used to do that a lot too. He wants to see if his veteran team can figure it out before he has to use a timeout. But go ahead.
I mean, you're gonna collapse against Detroit and try to figure it out.
Well, did they really need Doc to beat Detroit? Doc could have not. He could have stayed in Philly, and they should have won that game.
There's no,
But again, it's his job to get him up for that game.
Yeah.
Is it?
Right?
Hold on. We're talking about of everybody probably at this table think that Joel Embiid is MVP.
Well,
Okay.
Good numbers
James
that game,
Harden used to be an MVP, and he's still very good.
Okay.
Tyrese Maxey, we've been raving about him all year.
Yes.
Tobias Harris is a 20-point scorer in this league.
Not this year.
Not this year.
Well, not this year,
Neither
but
he got
normally.
paid.
But normally.
Neither he got paid.
But normally.
Okay.
And you need to get motivated. We're coming down the home stretch of the playoffs. I got to motivate you.
Yo.
You should have your own motivation.
You're right. Be in the locker room, Al. You should be telling them that.
I mean, I shouldn't have to. We're coming down to the last 10 games of the season. Motivation is enough to get home court so we can get ready for the playoffs. That's motivation.
I agree.
I shouldn't have to motivate.
I agree.
Part of being a great
Completely.
coach, though, is in-game adjustments.
True.
Out of timeouts.
I just can't.
Blow.
Right. That they call a timeout, and what do? They do Harden isolation, and he shoots an air ball. I'm like that's what you or Harden ignored the.
That's what he came up with,
and that's what we talked. That we talked about that last time.
But you think coming out of a timeout though?
Is it them? Is it them or is it Doc?
Well, and then it goes back to
Doc says stuff in the presser like, I told them to do this. They didn't execute. Even I heard Embiid and Harden say after the Phoenix game, they executed. We didn't. That's not on Doc. That's on the players not executing the play right. And then
you're right.
Everything comes back on Doc. Oh, Doc didn't do it right. Or Doc, what kind of play is that? But if you run it wrong, how is it Doc's fault?
All right.
But Doc is not going to throw him underneath the bus.
No, I get it. But if you're running it wrong, maybe you're not running it enough at practice.
The only problem is it's hard to practice as much as you used to.
But to Tony's point, though, it's not happening with other ball clubs.
That's true. Now that I agree with that.
Now,
I agree with that.
And to your other point about Harden saying I wanted to play for Doc, that could have been very, very well the case. But now that he's playing,
he also never played for Doc.
He never played for Doc. Now that he's witnessing practices, he's witnessing post-game press conferences where that one time he did throw Harden under the bus.
No, that was I want to make sure everybody knew that was taken out of context. Literally, it was a question asked, and the way that they cut it, it sounded like he threw him underneath the bus, but he actually absolutely did not.
But the bottom line
is, why would you do that? What? Now you sit here and you say, we just got him. We're getting ready to go in the playoffs. What would help to throw him underneath the bus? I can see if this was game 2.
Well, sometimes even savvy coaches probably
Nah,
would like to have
I wouldn't
comments
do
taken
it.
back.
Me myself, it's too. It could cause a.
I don't know. Well, the bottom line,
Cause
regardless,
a little rift.
even if
Bomb.
of course, even if Harden didn't take it that way, and
Right.
and everything's cool with that, I still think Harden probably isn't as enamored with his coaching from up close as he was afar.
Yeah, and that happens. It happens all the time.
Yep.
I mean, look, listen, it's WrestleMania season. We just got over a great show in WrestleMania,
Absolutely.
right? You have wrestlers that switch companies all the time. Say, I'd much rather be over. And they go over there like, wow, this ain't that great.
Right.
It looked great.
Right.
Always want. It happens all the time. My biggest thing is exactly what Dan said. It's all about adjustments. I mean, I'm down there and I'm watching that Milwaukee game, and I'm watching Joel Embiid sitting on a bench, and Milwaukee just coming back and coming back and coming back. And Doc, what are you doing?
It was ridiculous.
Like, I don't understand it. Listen, you're going to live or die with Harden and Embiid. It is what it is. It's just like 2001. You live and die with AI playing 40-plus minutes.
Right.
You're going to live or die with those two guys.
Right.
All right. So you listen, if you're playing for something, they need to be in the game. And he never even came out and acknowledged it. Doc's never wrong.
No.
That's one thing about him. He's never wrong.
Right.
Right.
That's the guy.
Right.
That's the way he is,
Right.
unfortunately.
Same thing in the Denver loss, Tone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The Denver game was another one.
Right.
Jokic wasn't on the court. They
Right.
didn't take advantage of it.
It's just that's been
and
the
I want
biggest
to
issue.
make sure I say this too before I forget.
Yeah.
In my opinion, we don't need everybody. Well, why isn't Harden scoring 30? And why isn't he doing
We
this?
don't need
and why?
that.
We don't need
I'm not worried
that.
about that.
That is the problem that everybody's missing. We don't need him to be that Harden. I actually want him to be the CP3. I want him to play like CP3.
I would love that.
Perfect spots when I need you to take over, and then otherwise get it to everybody else in this perfect spots, and you'll still get your points. Get your drives, get to the free throw line, and then if you're scoring, what did he have the other night? I think he had 18,
had like 12
10.
points, but he had like 15 assists.
Right. That's what I need.
And they scored 144 points.
Right. That's what I need. And then I think I looked at the box score because I was in Atlanta. I think I looked at the box score 20,
ATL.
18, 15, 20, 25. I seen the whole scoreboard that everybody had contributed. That's what we need. We don't need him to be 30-point Harden. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But I need him to be the perfect CP3. Perfect.
I like that.
Just like I said in the beginning of the season, 12 to 15 assists every game, and I need you to score in between 18 to 25, and I'm good with that. And then whatever rebounds you can get, you can get.
That's a great. I like the CP3. Right.
And gentlemen, what are your thoughts on this?
Gentlemen, I haven't been called gentleman in a long time.
Yeah, all right. Al, gentlemen.
I appreciate that.
I usually get asshole or jerk off or something.
well,
I normally don't get. Trust me.
My mother raised me.
Yeah. It just if you hear my wife, it's probably worse.
Jerk off. Let me talk. Would you?
My daughter's in the audience, so she'll vouch for me.
Yeah. So
she must not heard you.
No, I don't think she heard me.
No, we need a speaker, Stone.
Next week.
Correct.
Coming soon.
So I'm a proponent that when trades get made, when certain players get called up from the minors, depending on what sport, there's that adrenaline factor. And I think the first handful of games, these guys were just so hyped with adrenaline. And you saw how Maxi's game totally changed. And I think we'd also agree, and we as baseball fans, we see it all the time. How many times do you see a lineup get cold together?
Oh yeah.
Right.
So it's like they're shooting cold together. And then that game the other night where they made like 18 threes or something.
Right.
Are
you talking about the Saturday matinee?
The 144 game.
Right.
They were on fire together.
Right.
So this team is just a roller coaster, and then it goes to your point about chemistry. I think a lot of it's on adrenaline and on the what can be, and then the issues that really are apparent is I think the fatigue factor because of the lack of depth.
Yeah, it's a huge deal.
I also think, and this might be a trivial thing to bring up, but I think Joel and Harden try to argue foul so much that they don't get back on defense.
That's very annoying, by the way.
Have you seen that a lot? It's
So many
Harden
times.
goes in a lane and has the double hand
And then
up.
stands in the middle of the
Yeah.
lane where he thought he got fouled.
Right.
Meanwhile,
Yes.
it's three
It is-
it's
I
three
hate
players
that.
going
It
down the
kills-
I
other
hate
end,
that.
and it's an automatic basket.
All right,
It's
so
so
I'm
annoying.
not alone.
Yes.
That's the kind of stuff the freshmen get your butt back on defense.
I don't care if you cause a turn.
Yes.
Get your ass back
Exactly.
and play
Hell,
defense, dude.
All right.
Like,
All
hey,
right.
what are you standing down on the other court? It's not going to
I
change
hate
anything.
that.
I'm glad I brought it up because
Come on, man.
that's happening a lot.
That's
I
so
hate it.
annoying.
I hate it.
He's
All
a
right.
vet. He's probably in
Just
that.
so everybody knows, breaking news: DeAndre Jordan with his ball huggers is out there right now. So you will, if you want to watch the game, put it on, and please explain to me why this dude's
I gotta
shorts are
get
so
close
damn
up now. I
All
gotta
right.
get a close up.
Just throw it out there.
Real fast. When you had the breaking news, I thought you were going to go a different route. So
I thought something
So-
really happened.
yeah, you're thinking about picks, not balls.
right. So this is a somber. This is legit and somber.
I got
moment.
Al Crawford over here.
So while I was preaching earlier, and it was positive preaching, they put on the screen, and it upset me a little bit when I
Getting
first.
choked up?
Well, no, not that bad. When I first, I'm old school for a reason because I'm old, and I became a Sixers fan when Dr. J was coming to town, 76, 77,
Wasn't born yet.
and my first coach was Gene Shue,
Oh,
Okay.
and they just put on the screen
Yeah,
Gene
yeah,
Shue passed
yeah.
away.
Oh, did he?
yeah, I did.
So I
see
wanna
that.
give-
Was that
my-
sudden?
I don't know. He was born in 1931, so I'm hoping it was natural causes.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is he was
lived a good life,
He was
bro.
my first coach.
Wow.
So
Gene Shue.
So
Wow.
God,
Okay.
God rest and God bless his family.
Rest in peace. What was it? Bobby Rydell just died today.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I saw
Oh,
that.
Wildwood Days, right?
Philly's own.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
speaking of Philly's own, let's make sure we mention Philly's own Dawn Staley
Yes.
winning the
Yeah.
national championship with
Bro.
South Carolina.
like
I am
I love
in
it.
love with that.
I'd hire as my coach.
Absolutely.
Yo, you
Love Dawn.
relax.
Congratulations.
You're not gonna get a mic anymore from that.
You don't want her as a coach?
You're gonna have to return that in, bro.
Congratulations.
Nah, yeah, you're
I'm
right.
so proud of her.
100%.
Philly's own
Yeah.
with another chip. Wow. That's a great thing.
Man, Dre checking in. Andre, what's up, Dre? 21
Brad,
threes,
what's good
bro.
with you, bro.
21 threes, bro. Tied the franchise record.
I
He's
said,
checking
I
in.
said 18. I'm sorry.
I
I was off by 3.
Al, I think it's for you. Nemo Roberts. What up, cousin?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's
checking
up?
in.
What's up, Nemo?
Yeah.
By the way, he's a stinking Heat fan.
Well, he says, what up, cousin? I think James Harden is playing hurt. So I actually agree with your cousin as well.
I mean, I don't think he's going to be 100% until next year.
yeah, I agree.
I think he's never going to be able to get back to 100% till next year.
Rich checking in says Dawn Staley, best coach going out there. Listen, Dawn Staley is the equivalent of Jay Wright.
Absolutely.
Right. We've talked about Jay Wright
Absolutely.
in nauseum that he doesn't get. Dawn Staley is that person.
Correct.
Like I'm not even going to differentiate from male, female, whatever.
No.
Like as a basketball coach,
I would take
man.
her as my coach
Absolutely.
tomorrow for the Sixers.
I'm glad you brought it up because she was on my mind,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, nobody's even
That
talking
would be
enough
the
about.
best first professional coach.
And you know what I like
for a
about
woman,
Dawn
in my
too?
opinion.
Yeah.
Dawn is
I think
you
we're
know
getting a WNBA team soon too.
somebody, dude, NBA, whoever. The great thing I like about Dawn Staley is she's not afraid to back down from anything.
Nah.
She's outspoken in the media about her beliefs and what she believes in, and she's a great role model and mentor for a lot. It doesn't have to be women, be all kids growing up wanting to be whether a basketball player, a coach, whatever. I mean, she's really great
I
to
would
follow.
love to. I would
I'll tell you,
love
man.
for us to get a team
Oh.
here and then
You
pay
imagine?
her whatever
Yes.
she wants to come
Yes.
coach.
Oh, that would
You
be,
think I wouldn't be down there watching that?
that would be fan.
Well, let me ask you this question then. Obviously,
Ooh.
NBA versus college, we know the difference. Which is more prestigious, though, being a Division I powerhouse coach or then WNBA coach?
Well, WNBA is starting to get really big.
It is.
I know,
It's
but
global. That's
Right.
why.
all right.
So I mean, of course,
She makes like almost what 3 million. She makes $3 million a year with South Carolina.
didn't she
So I
get a
think
new deal?
3 years, 21. I thought something like around that range.
I thought it was higher than that.
Okay.
Sounds like melanoma. Adam checking in melanoma. That's what I got Gene Shue.
All right.
Yeah. Now
Oh,
listen.
was that?
Yeah, melanoma. Rich second said, man, it's a good thing Jordan got the spandex underneath those shorts to ride high. I told you. I told you. I am pointing this out.
I did just
You can see his holster.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't understand why is it.
Like
no
he-
reason for his shorts. To
No,
be
like
that size.
the trade's been well beyond a couple weeks. They could have got him a new pair of shorts by now. Like I don't understand. He must like the way those shorts fit, and all power to you. I just would hate to guard him because you might wind up with a present you're not
I
expecting.
think he's borrowing
Just
our
throwing it
Isaiah
out there.
Joe shorts.
Okay, so
So,
Gino's the highest paid at
Yeah.
2.9. She's right behind him at 2.7.
All
I like
right, I
it.
knew it was near 3.
good
a
for
year.
her, man.
Very
Good for her.
Very
Yeah.
good for her.
Good for her.
And she lives in a better cost of living area, so she makes more.
That's now. Listen, I'm glad you brought her up because 100%.
Absolutely. I tweeted it out as soon as it happened the other day, and congrats.
Yes, absolutely.
They smoked
Congrats.
him too.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
You're right. And listen,
And he's trust me, Gino's pissed. He's loading up.
He ain't happy.
Yeah, he's
man.
loading it up right now to figure
He
out
is
how
not
he can
happy.
beat them, and he's gonna. And they're coming back. I heard they're Dawn has got like 3 to 4 starters coming back, so they're gonna be loaded again, and she's gonna have them hyped to win back to back.
Well, she kills him with style too, man. That's that she brings all new meanings to that phrase, which I absolutely love. It embodies a lot, which is great. But this is halfway through the show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you're following at Heat Ratio Sports on all social formats. Make sure you're following right here at Steam Pub on all social formats, right here in beautiful Bucks County, the home of the real-time draft beer list. Again, we're here every Tuesday from 7 to 8:30, broadcasting live. And, next week, we'll be broadcasting throughout certain parts of the area in the bar like we always do. But we're going to add some live interesting sound effects of the show. We're talking about Major League Baseball starting, so we're going to do some home run props, team totals, things of that nature. So if you're in the sports betting as well, make sure you come on down, check it out, and bet with us. We'll have some giveaways if we hit, things of that nature. But right now, Dan, we got a trivia question.
All right.
But also, hold on, before I got to give it a little shameless plug here. Make sure Thursday night, tune in at Heat Ratio Sports on the network for the next episode of The Final Judgment with myself. I will be joined by the very talented Devin Caney, who is from the Eagles postgame live, covers number one, the NLL, which is the lacrosse team, Philadelphia Wings. If you have not watched Philadelphia Wings, it is a great experiment, a great experience down there. Absolutely love it. Been to a few games. NBC Sports Philly, ESPN sideline reporter, and most importantly, Superbook Sports, where she does a lot of prop picks, which I love. I had Renee Washington on. We were talking about NBA models. We'll talk a little NBA. We'll talk about a little Major League Baseball preview. See who Devin's creeping up, who's going to win the NL East, and home run props and things of that nature. So it'll be a very fantastic interview to have her on, and I appreciate her coming on. So let's get to the trivia question. And again, brought to you by Prime Roofing. Is your roof way past its prime? Is your home in need of an exterior upgrade? What if you've already have damage and you don't know where to begin? We get tornadoes on the regular, and we don't even know sometimes that we're getting them. I've never seen so many shelter-in-place alarms before in my life. But from helping with insurance claims to seeking the proper course of action, Prime Roofing guides you through the entire process. Trust me, it is a process. I went through it, and luckily Bernie was there to help me along the way. They use communication and transparency to rescue your roof and home the right way. Visit www.primeroofingpa.com. Get your project started today. Take some time, but they will be out there. He will walk you through the whole process. Do you know as little as 2 to 3 shingles will get you an entire roof? Because there is damages that you will not even know. You want to make sure you get that checked out right away. Big storm season coming up. Make sure you get www.primeroofingpa.com. Prime Roofing trivia question. And this, I'll tell you, this is a major question here. I cannot wait to see if somebody gets this, because this is a very interesting one. Speaking of opening day Major League Baseball, we want to get the juices flowing. Who was the last player drafted by the Montreal Expos? And the hint, he was a catcher. So I'm curious. Don't Google this, right? Try to figure this out.
No shot.
Right. I didn't either. Right. I didn't either. Who was the last player drafted by the Montreal Expos? Hint, it is a catcher. Montreal. Love the old school uniforms, man. You remember so many different parts. We'll get the name of the franchise later. We'll talk about Milwaukee, but Montreal, man. Obviously, the big unit. We already know Pedro, Andre Dawson, right? When he was so many, Larry Walker, Tim Wallach, Dennis Martinez. I mean, the list.
Warren Cromartie.
Gary Carter, right?
Steve Rogers.
Who the frick is Steve?
He was their ace
Steve
pitcher,
Rogers?
bro.
Oh,
Buck Rogers. What?
Buck
not-
Rogers. Yeah, Roy Rogers.
Nah,
I hear Rogers. I'm the
Steve Rogers was an ace in the 80s.
I would have never known. I would have never known, man.
Jeff Reardon.
Like Jeff Reardon, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
got me on all those things.
I'm out.
You recognize that last one?
I'm out.
You did? You recognize the last one?
What was the last
Jeff
one?
Reardon.
Jeff Reardon. I do recognize
Okay,
Jeff Reardon.
okay.
Only because I had a
He
1980
came up with
Topps Jeff Reardon
Yeah.
baseball card.
Tops.
Topps, 1980
Flashback
Topps.
right there.
Flashing back, bro. Flashing back. But
Wow.
yeah, love that light blue with the white and the red. Dig their old school emblem. Really, really excited. So again, who was the last player drafted by the Montreal Expos? Hit catcher. Check it out and see if you can get it and hit us up right here at Heat Ratio Sports. If we don't get during the show,
Google.
no, don't Google. We'll continue to do it throughout the week like we always do and see if we can get somebody. That Jesse Orozco one was great a few weeks ago. It took a while for somebody to get that. Rick Lorenzen, if you're watching, make sure you try to get this because I know you're a baseball historian as well. Guys, let's swing right in to baseball. We had a discussion. I think we're gonna table this for next week, but just give you an idea. We're talking about. I was at the game, the Milwaukee game. We're talking about basketball real fast, and then we're gonna table this. So I want to get your minds thinking. Preview for next week. Over the years, in my opinion, Giannis has relentlessly worked on his game, and it's showing right now. Dude is shooting fadeaways, step backs. He has been an unbelievable
100%.
force, right? And that just comes from work.
Yes.
Just comes from work. If
all the things
work, right?
all the things we wanted Ben to
Yeah,
work on
that's a good point.
every year get gradually better.
Correct.
What is wrong with getting better every year? I would have loved Ben to do that, but it's over. Let's move on.
Yeah, it's over, and he's not playing, just like I predicted. But anyway, if you had to pick one big man to start a team, and you had to choose between Nikola Jokic, Giannis, and Embiid, who would you pick right now?
Can I start?
Wow.
So I don't want an answer right now.
Oh.
This is a table discussion for next week. So this is a table discussion for next week. So you're listening to this on
Wow.
podcast. You're listening to this on
Man,
replay,
that's hard.
right? I want some really good answers and why. So I don't want to just blurt something out. So please, next week, we're going to lead off with this.
Wow.
Next week, over the years, Giannis, this is based on Giannis's growth. If you had to pick one big man to start your team, you're the NBA owner of a franchise. Is it Jokic, Giannis, or Embiid? They're the only three. That's what I'm giving you. I want to hear who you would start your
All right,
franchise
so,
with.
so let me ask you this
Yeah.
one question.
Yeah.
So do we know that they're going to get to this level right now, or
No, the current them.
the current them starting a team?
Yes.
Okay.
As they
All right.
stand right now.
As they stand
Okay.
right now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
As they stand right now.
I need to
Cur-
definitely think
yeah.
about that.
Yeah. I was going to say, I want to.
Wow.
You're tuning next
I
week.
got one eliminator right off the jump.
That's a great question.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I
saying
want it.
though. I'm not
I want
saying
it. I want to hear some interesting. Maybe we'll get somebody on the Roger Rack Media hotline as well next week to see
Wow.
what their ideas as well. So you never know what's going to hop out here on Heat Ratio Sports, Heat Ratio Live at Steam Pub, sponsored by Prime Roofing. You just never know. But boys, it is opening day, and we got our own version of the Smash Brothers, or I should say the Bash Brothers. No disrespect to Jersey Shore and the Smash Club. I mean the Bash Brothers. Okay, so let's talk about opening day. And I will be there. I cannot wait. I'm going down there. Me, my dad, my daughter, my two sons.
Wow, that's going to be a great
I
time.
cannot wait, man. We're doing it up
What's
too.
the weather going to be
gear,
like
bring
Friday?
rain.
61.
No.
61 and partly cloudy with a possibility of an isolated shower.
Wow.
So I'm
That's
all in,
nice.
man.
All right.
There's a lot of people going to be down there. So, if you're down there, I've already had a couple people message me as we were going down. We're going to hook up. Again, I'll be down there. Check us, check Jigsaw out, man. I want to shake your hand. All the support. If you're going to be down there, check me out. There's going to be a lot of people. Green Legion going to be doing their thing. They got the Bud Light Baseball Brunch boys going down there. I know my man Zach going to be down there. They're doing a lot of big things, which obviously is always a big deal. But just the atmosphere as well. We have a renewed rejuvenation, so to speak, a renewed energy on this team, which is great. And again, it's because not only because the guys they signed, and guys like Castellanos and obviously Harper from a few years ago, and JT, you bring in Schwarber, who's not going to cover off the ball. These guys are legitimately not going to cover off the ball. But it's some homegrown players on the roster. Mickey Moniak with a different hitting style, right? All of a sudden now, the guy looks like a hitter. Bryson Stott, who we talked about. Guys are going to be on opening day roster, and of course, Alex Boehm getting another shot. We'll talk about that as well. But let me ask you this, Dan, because you are the baseball guy in this group, 100% in my opinion. Talking about these two young guys, specifically in Moniak and Stott. My whole thing, we have these guys on the roster. I want to hear your opinion on this because I don't want them brought up to just pinch hit.
No.
These guys, right? These guys have they have a momentum right now. Put them out there. Will they be used the right way? Let me ask you that. Will they be used the right way? Do you feel that?
I think my gut tells me that Moniak and Verling are going to be on a platoon.
Yes.
And I think to some extent, I think Stott and Baum will be also used as platoon. Stott, Moniak are both lefties. Verling and Boehm are both righties.
Boom.
So, but I've always wanted Stott to be, I wouldn't say rush to the majors, but he's not a kid anymore. I'm so sick of our team babying players. I have said this for years. If we had Soto or Acuna Jr., they'd still be in the minors.
You're right.
They would not be coming up as 19, 20-year-olds.
You're absolutely right.
And that frustrates me. So in an ideal world, Stott would be playing his natural position, but we're stuck with DD in his contract. And I think Stott would probably be a better shortstop defensively for this club. And I think it's not hard for a shortstop to transition to third base. That's just my opinion, but they're going to put Stott at third base.
I don't think so either.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
Since you are our baseball expert,
I feel nervous.
is it better to platoon or to be out there more so you can feel it, get the feel better?
Well, listen, the platoon is not
being a kid.
No, the platoon is not the player's choice. Believe me, every athlete wants to be in the lineup.
Okay.
I would.
So does it hurt them?
For me now? There is. You would think scientifically it's not a thing, but it is a thing. Lefty on lefty is way more difficult from the batter's box than righty on righty.
Right.
I see it no problem unless you're facing a real funky righty that throws a nasty 3/4 or from like a submarine style.
Kenta Colby.
Yeah, well, but I'm saying righty on righty never. I played my first year of college before injuries took place. Righty on righty never bothered me. But you see what these funky lefties with their 99% of them have 3/4 deliveries. They're nasty on lefties. Like, could you imagine facing Randy Johnson? The way he threw. But anyway, the key to a left-handed hitter that's successful is, do they hang in against left-handed pitchers?
Okay.
Is their natural inclination to step in the bucket? And Utley hung in there. Tony Gwynn hung in there.
Yeah, he did.
Ohtani hangs in there. These guys don't flinch against the lefty. So that's the first. If you want to gauge the growth of Moniak and Stott, if they face a lefty, will they hang in there and stay, shoulder tight to the mound instead of leaning towards first base? I'm excited. I mean, Moniak. Could you imagine, Tone, if you get anything from either of those two with this lineup? If Moniak by accident hits his potential finally with this lineup, how scary that could be. I mean, the kid was a force down your throat #1 overall draft pick. Truth be told, because the first 4 or 5 top players in that draft were all Scott Boras clients.
Yes.
And the Phillies wanted to avoid Scott Boras clients.
I remember
that.
So
Moniak was the default #1 because he was the only one that wasn't a Boras client. So we had this kid.
Which in high science sounds kind of ridiculous.
It is. And now he's been in the system, I think, since 2016.
How long has he been there?
I'd have to look.
He was
I'm
like
not
a 17, 18-year-old high school kid. And now he's 23, I believe. So let's just pray that the light bulb went off. Tony referenced the hitting adjustments, or the batting adjustments he made from the hitting coach's suggestion. Let's hope it's legit. I mean, the kid has owned spring training. You can't take that away from him, because you can't force feed down our throat. It's a fluke. It's just spring training. Because if the opposite happened, if he was like for spring training, they would say he's a bust.
Right.
This kid.
I told you we should have got rid of him.
So you got to give the kid credit.
Right.
And this kid deserves credit where credit's due, because a kid like that needs that boost. So I'm glad. I think the Odubel injury was a blessing in disguise in so many ways. In so many ways, because A, we didn't want him to begin with, and B,
scumbag.
Hopefully, it opens up.
Sorry.
What about the other kid that got traded? Do you think that was just
Adam Hazley?
No, not him. The other kid.
With Kinnery, who got released and now is back on the team.
No, the kid that what is his name? The kid that came on at the late season, and he had a little pop.
What, Nick Manto?
Maton
or Manto, whatever.
Nick Maton.
His name.
I'm not sure.
He wasn't traded for. He was just a call off from the minors.
No, what was the last trade we made?
I'm not sure.
It was just one of these trades. I think it was for a veteran infielder.
Brad Miller?
Nah.
He was
Bamboo Brad?
Yeah.
I can't remember the kid's name. And he was on the team last year, and I just remember because I seen his tweet come up and said, "Thanks, Philly." And I was like, "Oh wow, they traded you?" And I didn't think I won't remember how long he'd been in the system, but I know that they was going to make some moves, and that was one of them. Everybody thought they was going to do the boom and get rid of him. So when he moved, I was like, oh, they must want to keep him. So that's what made me ask that question.
But no, I'm not right now. I'm drawing a blank. Right. But if Stott, I think Stott is more of a legitimate prospect than Moniak, only because Moniak has disappointed up until now, and we do want to see what indeed he does when the lights are turned on for real. But the bottom line, Tone, it doesn't. If they give you anything with this lineup,
it's scary.
Could you just imagine?
No, I can't. And that's the thing. If you look back, we slugged our way to a World Series in 2008, right? I mean, let's face it. We had the closer in Brad Lidge, who had a perfect season. We get it. But you had one guy in Cole Hamels. One guy. The rest were just pieces in that rotation. You mashed your way. Okay, Ryan Howard, Jason Worth, Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins. But then you still had some weaknesses in that lineup. Pedro Feliz wasn't a great hitter.
No.
Right? So you think about it, and you're like, this team could legitimately go 8 deep. Like, who are you pitching around in this lineup? And nobody's even mentioned what I like about this. Nobody's even mentioning career 301 hitter Gene Segura.
Yeah.
Nobody's even mentioning him. Right? Nobody's even mentioning that Didi had a down year because he was injured. Right? Like these cats can ball, man.
Didi's got pop.
Yes.
Down and in, you don't want to throw the ball there.
I mean, Rich checking has great. Phillies had that right left in this lineup this year. Going to be a lot. Exactly. They almost have the perfect lineup. I hate to say it, but they do. With the way it's constructed, and you know what I love? I think the most underrated part of this team is they have grit. Castellanos brings that attitude. Harper brings that attitude on the base pass. Yeah, he runs with reckless abandon. I don't care. He's a hustler, right? He is a completely different person than people ever thought he would be. The way he plays, the style he plays, the kind of team guy that he is. Nobody ever thought that was going to be Bryce Harper. You have a guy like JT Realmuto today, people just gravitate towards. He's a blue collar guy, right? You think about that. Think about the other end, Dan. What if Aaron Nola has a bounce back here?
I think he will.
He actually has not looked bad.
No, and spring training, you guys know that pitchers, they'll experiment with pitches.
Yeah.
And when you experiment with pitches, you sometimes leave them over the plate. And there's also the adage that the hitter is ahead of the pitcher at this time of year.
That's true.
So I don't, to me, it's all about how's his velocity look in general. And I've heard good, Ruben Amaro said glowing things about the way, I was about to say Cole Hamels, about the way Nola is throwing.
And
and
he's not a spokesman for the team.
No, this was as a radio guest, so he really had glowing things to say about, and he was just honest about Alvarado too.
Yeah,
he goes, throw Sarby. He still has no idea where the ball's going.
He's Rick Vaughn.
Yeah,
he's exactly who he is. He's Rick Vaughn.
I mean, this could be the most. You had one man in Ryan Howard to the team that you're referencing earlier.
Yep.
That had Babe Ruthian type numbers for a 3-year stretch.
Insane.
It was literally insane. I mean, if they pulled the Barry Bonds treatment with him that one year, he had 58 home runs.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't even pitch to him the last month and a half of the season.
Nobody.
Yeah.
That happened here, people.
He would have had 70.
That happened here.
He would have had 70 home runs if they pitched to him.
Oh man, that was such a storybook year.
But so I don't think you're going to get anyone with I think you're going to have 4 guys with potential 30 home run, 100 RBI potential.
No, without a doubt. Imagine that.
And
Ridiculous.
it's unbelievable.
I can't wait for the season.
I'm so stoked.
can't wait.
I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I really can't. I can't wait. You know what I can't wait for is, number one, the games every night. Like because now there's not going to be many days off because they're going to have a kind of like a semi-condensed schedule, right?
True.
So you're going to get a lot of baseball in. And I'll tell you, man, I am so, Dan, you talked about it earlier, addicted with the NBA props. I can't wait for the Major League Baseball props. And just always remember too, Sunday night, Saturday and Sunday on Sirius Satellite Radio, here to Win Daily Show. I will be co-hosting every Sunday night as well. Me and Jason will be talking live betting from 9 to 11. And Adam got the number fixed. I had to talk with the producer. The number is fixed. So, again, the number will be up there. Anybody wants to call in, get your opinion, ask questions, please. 9 to 11 every Sunday night on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. So let's talk about Al, Darrell Wilson. What's up, brother Al? Checking in. You got some check-ins tonight.
Appreciate it.
You got some check-ins tonight. I love it. Al's a popular guy tonight, man. I like
a little
it.
love.
Yeah.
I appreciate the love.
You got to have some love, man. You got to have some love. And listen to this one. 81 points at halftime for the Sixers.
Yeah, I wasn't really going to mention.
I know. I'm just throwing it out there. 81 points. I hear you.
Because
we had our run.
They relaxed. They relaxed, and instead of stomping on their heads at halftime and come out the first 5 minutes and finish the game off, they'll come back and they'll let them shoot the lights out. So I wasn't going to say anything to the fourth quarter.
That's all right. Yeah, we're not but
trust me, I've seen it.
I know you've seen it. Rich second, it says, you just hope the bullpen and pitching can do enough with this lineup. Listen, I think, I don't want to label him like, a genius or anything, but I think the experience of Dombrowski, knowing how to build a championship team, you see what he did right away with the bullpen. Whether they work or they don't, right away you say, you know what? We need to get a bunch of pieces in there. We need to revitalize that pen. I'll tell you what, the X factor, Dan, in this pen, and
Sir
Al,
Anthony?
yes, could be Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me ask you guys, what's the number of average runs for the
that's
season?
a good one.
5
per game. Per game,
5.
I'm going at least 5.
Yeah.
If I'm getting,
That's what I was thinking.
if I'm getting
Minimum
5.
on
Over 5, I'm betting it every night. Because it's going to come out more than not.
Right.
That's how good they're going to be.
And if you make any mistakes with this lineup, it's over the fence.
It's going to be a beach
especially
ball.
at home.
Oh, it's
especially
at
home. Let it get warm. Oh my God.
My God.
But Tony, you know what gives me some kind of optimism, and this might be, nonsensical optimism, but
there goes the big words again, Teach.
if I'm Familia, I'm seeing this team that I've been placed on, and I don't want to be the guy that lets them down. So I'm hoping it adds juice back to their game and brings back they're not 38-year-old men that are like we're hoping for that one last hurrah out of. Right. They still got some, their arms are still lively. They're still so let's hope that I don't want to look at Bryce Harper after they gave me a 6-3 lead going into the 9th.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to look at Nick Castellanos after he had a 3-run bomb.
Especially him. He looks like a crazy nut.
Yes, sir.
Like
so
look at him like, really, dude?
Yeah.
We just put up 8 runs and you gave it up. Like
that's exactly right.
You got one job to do.
Right.
One job to do.
Exactly right.
Right.
It's like you don't want to be the field goal kicker in the bullpen. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I think that
right.
I think that might mean something.
Yeah.
And we were
and they got a right to. They got a right to say that.
We have almost like a parallel with the Phillies when it comes to the Sixers and Doc. Joe Girardi, for me, Tone, has been a tad of a disappointment.
Hey, me too.
So it's like they almost parallel each other with their resume, and then what we have seen once they've been on our squad. So Joe, but I think the positive is that Joe's back to essentially American League managing, where he had his most success.
Well, you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's hope.
And weapons.
Yes.
But I'm saying, even with weapons, you have to make pitching changes and pull a guy that might be on fire, losing 1-0. But I got to pull him because we have a runner at second and third with 2 outs, and I got to take that risk so that we can get a pinch hitter to knock these guys in. and now you can leave him in the game because you don't have to pinch hit for him anymore.
Sounds like we got maybe got Dan coaching out there.
On the opposite end, if we start out bad,
I don't want to go
oh my God. Woo!
Come on, man.
I might have to turn off radios. Don't talk to anybody. If we start off bad, you know they want to fire him right away.
Yeah,
right away they want to fire him.
instantly. And this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is Girardi's last year, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a lame
he's
duck
a lame
right
duck
now.
guy right now. So what's that tell you?
Which is very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Considering you signed all of those people.
Remember, he wasn't a Dombrowski guy. Remember that? He was
very interesting.
Yeah, he was a Clintac nerd.
Clintac begrudgingly got rid of Kapler.
You really you want me to, like, I'm surprised his agent, like, dude, what's going on here? You either with me or not.
I think it's a statement made by Phillies. Look, we're going to go out and spend this money, and this is it, man.
Yeah,
this is it. So, listen, Adam checking in says I'm going 6 runs per game. Rich says I'm going 5 runs, betting it every night, all day. Absolutely.
I'm going to give Rich a homework assignment. I believe, Tony, tell me if I'm wrong. Wasn't the 08 team or it might have been even the 93 team. One of those great slugging teams did not get shut out the entire year.
Well, that's a good one.
Or had maybe one at the very end, and it was like the first time they were shut out. If someone could look that up, because I could see this team not getting shut out this year.
Yeah, you're right. They're so good. I mean, the only way they don't get shut out is maybe, or they do get shut out. Maybe they have.
He rests too many people at the same time.
Exactly.
Which he's done before. He's rested Bryce and JT at the same time. What are you thinking?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, this year's going to be different, though.
Yeah,
it's definitely going to be different. I mean, because you just don't know. Like we talked about with the condensed schedule. As always, you're watching Heat Ratio Live at Heat Ratio Sports. Give us a follow. Make sure you subscribe. Tap that like button right here from beautiful at Steam Pub on all social formats. The home of the real-time draft beer list right here in beautiful Bucks County in Southampton, PA. But right now, you know what time it is, right? This is, you hear that? It's the Jigsaw Chronicle time, right? Where we have a little fun on this show. Okay, and guys, I know I talk about a lot of my stuff is hinted at lines, and it's lines because I see some of the weirdest shit ever in waiting lines, and this one is called waiting line etiquette, and I'll tell you why. And again, this is going to go back to the lunch meat counter, right? So here's I got to ask you. This is. This is total violation here, in my opinion, right? But I can't say nothing because it's a bunch of elderly women. So I go into BJ's, the actual supermarket, not the good BJ's, and I'm in there and I'm going, okay, do I want the pre-sliced meat, or I'm very odd with the meat. Like, it's got to be extra thin. It's got to be sliced properly. I don't want bricks. If I want bricks, I might just buy a freaking whole ham and slice up in chunks. Like, do you ever get that? Like, I'll say, yeah, can you slice that thin? True. Oh, you want it thick? Who the hell gets it thick? No, yeah. I said thin. But by the way, anyway, so I pick a number, and I'm sitting there. Now, it is packed. It's jam-packed. But the only good part about it is I go in there with my wife. I get her, go do your thing. I'm going to sit here on Facebook, on Twitter, while I'm waiting for my number to be called. You go do your thing, whatever. So I'm sitting there, and there's this congregation of old ladies, 4 of them, with a shopping cart, right? And they're the number ahead of me. Number 1, they still can't figure out the number, right? So they're big light up there, number 65. And they're looking around. Everybody's looking. What number you have? They said 65. Dude's not here. You lost your spot. Anyway.
Golden Girls.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like, B. Arthur. Stell Getty, right? But here's the thing. So I'm sitting there, and I was being nice. Dan, I was being nice, right? I had to be nice. I respect your elders, what I'm always talking. But man, did it bang me in the ass with this one?
They smell like mothballs.
Dude, that's terrible, man. That's a bad joke, man.
That's not nice.
Yeah, that's not nice. Not nice. But listen, so I'm sitting there. Somebody's grandma, bro. So I'm sitting there, and the lady missed her number, right? She was ahead of me. So I'm like, listen, man, go ahead. By all right, you were missed it, not a big deal. So ultimate violation. So she goes up to the counter and she orders not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 different types of lunch meat and asks for 4 separate bags. Oh. So now she's ordering for everybody in her group.
That is a violation.
So can I get a pound and a half of ham? but in 4 separate bags? Can I get 2 pounds of cheese in 4 separate bags? Put a quarter pound in each one. Are you kidding me?
You can't.
It took me
But
all.
you can't say anything either.
Yeah, what am I supposed to say?
Right.
Then I'm gonna be on TikTok as the BJ guy. No, wait, I should rephrase that. I'm not the BJ guy, but I should be on. I was just that didn't sound good. That was definitely.
At least you caught yourself.
Yeah, I did catch myself. So let's omit that out of the live stream. But no, Jigsaw. But seriously, like Rich says, 4 lunch meat and 4 cheese. Tony spent 3 hours at the deli.
Oh my God.
So who does that?
Maybe you should have. Maybe you would have. Probably, you said the line was already.
Yeah,
long.
I was
about to say maybe
it
you
was
should have
insane.
went and got something else and then came back, but then you would have been back in the back of the line.
Yeah, exactly. So I was in such a no-win situation, just entirely frustrated. And then here's the part. So people don't know my wife. She's a firecracker, okay? I'm lucky I don't get killed half the time being out with my wife. So here she comes over and she's like, she's like, you're still waiting? I'm like, yeah. So she catches wind of it. And I'm like, first thing I say is, hun, relax.
Yeah, don't.
Please don't say nothing.
Right.
She's like, what? No, it's bullshit. Relax.
Oh,
relax. But no, she's saying it to me and I'm trying to calm her down.
They heard it.
They didn't hear number 65. I don't think they heard that either.
It wasn't turned up.
But I'm just like, please, I just want to get out. I'm like, nah, honey, it's really not. I'm like, now I'm trying to smooth it over.
Right.
So now I'm the guy going, no, I said it was okay when I really didn't.
Right.
So now I had to change my frustration, and just divert the entire situation. Like
that was a good,
right.
thought by
Yeah,
you.
exactly. If Rick says grandma throwing hands, that really, it was, listen, man. I'm not even clicking on the comment that says BJ guy, by the way. But I mean, you never know what's going to happen here on Heat Ratio Live. But let's get that. So that's my Jigsaw.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. It was absolutely nothing you could do.
No, nothing you could do.
You can't say anything.
What do you do?
We all, I guess everyone has that luck,
Yeah,
but that's
right.
That's
What do you say?
Wow.
What do you say? I mean, you just gotta let it go.
I might have.
You would say something. You're that guy.
Are you kidding me?
You would say that. Are you kidding me?
I mean, that was as far as it have gone.
Like in an old school quick take kind of voice. Like, are you kidding me? Or
no. You know what I would have did if the wife wasn't with me? I would have called her and told her.
Oh, I would have definitely done that.
Yeah, I would have.
You believe this? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would.
Because that's the only way you get off your frustration.
Yeah, I was fuming.
Yeah.
I was fuming.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and then not to mention, I had to get, so they had it in, I'll finish this up, but they had 4 separate lunch meat guys, right? And there was 4 separate lines. So it's like a self, checkout. Of course, I picked the slowest lunch meat cutter in the world. So these are like 8 pounds of bologna next to me before I got a half a pound of cheese. Like, come on, man.
And he goes back for an hour to get the new
Gotta get the new one.
What did you say?
Gotta get the new one. Yep. Unfortunately, we had to get a new one. It takes them a minute to cut it open. Oh, you know the drill, guys. You know the drill. So let's get to name that player right here. And this week we talk about the beautiful city of Milwaukee. This is based on the Giannis preview that we have for next week. Who is the face of the franchise, right? So again, a segue into next week, but tonight we're talking about this week Milwaukee. Every professional team that comes up with the Bucks, the Brew Crew, right? I'll just get started and go Milwaukee Brewers. And there's so many names, but does Paul Molitor not ring Milwaukee Brewers?
You went old school, Tom.
Right? Robin Yount, does that not? Because these are the guys that baseball cards.
Gorman Thomas.
Dan, what's the
Ben Ogilvy?
Ben Ogilvy.
What's the left-hand guy that got traded?
Cooper?
That got traded to real big guy that got traded to Milwaukee for the stretch run.
CC?
Jesse Orozco.
CC. That came right to my mind.
CC Sabathia.
When he got traded,
Shane hit the grand slam off.
Yes. Lot.
You remember the 82 Harvey Wallbangers ball club that went to the World Series?
Yeah. Who?
What?
I gotta get that Stone Cold.
You gotta get that on the sound.
I gotta get the Stone Cold one.
What?
Yeah, I gotta get that.
So, Tone, I was a legendary ball club. They lost in the 82 World Series to the Cardinals, and Molitor and Yount were on that team.
I couldn't name anybody else on that team.
Cecil Cooper was the first baseman.
I do remember Cecil Cooper.
Ben Ogilvy was Gorman Thomas, Sexto Lescano
Sexto.
or Sixto Lescano.
Sixto.
I went Sexto. I don't know why I said that.
I know why you said
little
it.
Freudian. Sixto was a
That's the first thing that popped in your head.
Became a Philly the
We were
following
talking
year.
about lunch meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
As soon as
that
you
was
said
a
that,
great.
don't we have a
Don
player?
Sutton was one
Don
of their
Sutton.
one of their starters.
There you go. Don Sutton. I remember that name.
Vukovic was on that team.
Vuk.
Rolly Fingers was the closer.
How can you forget about Raleigh Fingers?
Yeah.
Those
So
names.
I'm going old school. I'm sorry.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
How
at
can
all.
you forget about Raleigh?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yes. With Oscar Robertson.
Yes.
Very classic.
Yes.
Classic.
Our boy Nick checking in says Paul Mulder, no doubt. You got Rich says your mind's in the gut. Listen, I'm just saying, we're talking about meat, and all of a sudden he gives a sexto reference.
yeah,
it's just, you know,
And his brother Seveno.
sometimes you got to be
His
careful.
brother said-
Got to be careful. Just got to be careful here. You just never know what you're gonna find. How about the Milwaukee Bucks?
Yeah.
Like not the normal guys.
Ooh,
Old school.
abnormal. Let's
Let's go. Paul Pressey,
Paul Pressey,
Alton Lister.
Sidney Moncrief.
Moncrief. There's a good one.
How about
I
Paul
like that.
Sigma coming from
Yeah.
Seattle to them?
I thought it was Jack Sigma.
Terry-
Bob Lanier.
Terry Cummings.
Jack Sigma, you're right.
Jack Sigma.
Terry
The Flying
Cummings.
Dutchman.
Yeah,
Terry Cummings.
Terry-
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, I remember him. He
Yes,
had
back in the dock.
he had a
days.
Tyreek Hill head.
And how about you guys won't know that you're going to laugh at me again.
Oh, here we go.
Great shooter with a beard, Brian Winters.
Brian, yeah, lost.
He was a great shooter. He was.
If
with
he was
those-
that great, why don't we hear of him?
Brian
Look him up. Google him. Brian
Look,
Winters
Rick,
can stroke the ball.
You got the flying.
Where
Rich
was
got the
that?
flying
In the
Dutchman.
70s?
Jack Sigma.
Brian Winters. Why don't I
He
recognize
was.
that
He
name?
was in the late '70s, early '80s Buck teams that used to get the
Ah,
Sixers
okay,
aggravation.
Okay. That's why.
Bob Lanier was the center.
Bob Lanier, another great
Um,
name.
They had a power forward. I'm drawing the blank on who was a pain in the neck.
How about Michael Red, man?
Yeah.
Michael Red.
How about
was
Michael
nice.
Yeah,
Left-handed.
Yes.
He will light you up.
he could jump too.
Yeah, he was very nice.
Michael Red was the man, dude.
I used to hate Milwaukee back in the day.
Oh, who
Sidney
didn't?
Moncrief
Especially
was
that
so
that
good.
Terry Cummings team. Like he used to annoy me so much. And
Yeah.
Barkley hated him.
Oh,
Barkley hated Terry
you ain't
Cummings.
lying, man.
There was a rumor that do you remember we almost traded Irving for Cummings?
Yeah, I do remember that.
No, I don't remember.
I remember
almost-
hearing about that.
That was a legit,
Really?
almost done
Yeah.
trade. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, I remember hearing about
What
that.
wasn't it the
and it would actually have been a good trade because Doc was kind of.
Oh,
at
look
the
at
end of his career.
hold on. How about Adam second with Dale Ellis?
wow, there
And
you
Andrew Bogut. Got the Bogut
Bogut,
going
wow.
on, man.
go. Didn't he
Dale
didn't
Ellis,
the,
great
the,
name.
Bar-
the
Dallas.
Barkley throwing the guy through the window? Didn't that happen in Milwaukee?
Did it?
I think so.
I think so.
You remember Paul Mocheski, the giant center? He was a backup to Bob Lanier. Yeah.
Shit, that doesn't ring in the bell.
Nah,
That's got to
nah,
be 70s.
That's
No, it was
that's
80s.
a new
It
quick
was
take
80s.
right there.
Okay.
That's a new
Yeah,
quick
that
take.
doesn't ring a bell.
I like that. Well, listen, that's some great
what-
names, man.
Let me just say,
Yeah, let's go.
With 7:53 in the third quarter.
Yeah, and to say, Al,
Embiid has only got 34 points in it. It's
30,
not even the
4,
it's not even the middle of the third quarter.
34.
Yeah, 34.
That's amazing.
What's
What's what do you got the stats up over there? Because I got a Tyrese Maxey bet tonight. Oh, over 6.5
He had
points.
he had a good day. Start.
rebounds plus assists. Just rebounds and assists total over 6.5.
He has
What do we got there?
he has
Am I-
3 rebounds and 5 assists.
I'm in. Hit. Boom.
What was this one?
and 21 points.
3 and 5. It was over 6.5. Boards plus assists. Boom. Plus money bet right there.
You know who's a great
Plus
Buck
money.
we forgot to mention?
Who's that?
Do you remember Marcus Johnson?
Yes, I remember
Yes,
Marcus Johnson.
Yes, I do remember.
Junior
Marcus.
Bridgman?
I don't remember Junior Bridgman.
No, I have no idea who that
Yeah,
is.
you're going way back, bro. I couldn't even tell you.
Bridgman. Wow.
I don't even know if I wouldn't even know how to Google because I want to
Well,
spell
you
dude's
guys
name.
you remember Sidney Moncrief?
But
Right?
yeah, we
Oh,
mentioned him.
absolutely.
Well, he played with those guys.
Or Sidney
Oh.
Portier or Sidney Moncrief.
Even Dave
And he
Collins,
did a night.
the great Dave Collins that used to play
I'm
for
trying to
the
think who else
Celtics,
was back
had a
then.
cup of coffee with the Bucks.
Had a cup of coffee with the Bucks.
Remember
I'm
Dave?
missing somebody, and I can't think of her right now because I said Paul Pressey, but it's somebody else that was very
He
important
was the
on those
first point
Milwaukee
forward.
team.
Remember?
Yeah. Yes. It's somebody else on that team that I don't know why I'm forgetting their name. That was very important to Milwaukee back then. What year would you say? 90, early 90s?
No, Paul Pressey was not there. He was the 80s.
80s.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go.
All I know is Milwaukee's had a lot of underrated basketball players that people aren't talking about. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We mentioned a lot right here. I mean, obviously, Ricky Pierce and Vin Baker.
Ricky Pierce.
Vin
Craig
Baker.
Hodges. Craig Hodges.
No, it wasn't Craig Hodges.
What about Vin Baker?
Yeah.
Ricky Pierce, another good one too.
Yes.
Another good one. But as we wind down, listen, as Al's looking up, I just want to thank everybody, as always, from the three of us and everybody else at Heat Ratio Sports for the constant support from everybody consistently on a weekly basis. Make sure you're checking out at Heat Ratio Sports on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Man, some tremendous. I got to give my man Dan a shout out. This dude is killing it with his quick takes. And again, quick takes, it sounds generic, but I'm telling you, man, some of his debates that he has on there, you got to check them out. Doing some really, really big things. Al, as always, on the ones and twos when it comes to half court heat. And again, yeah, man, I mean, I don't care if you're a reporter. I don't care if you're a normal person. He's going out everybody's throat. I love every minute of it. But listen, he's passionate, it's the Jigsaw theory, which I love every minute of it. Make sure you're checking it. Heat Ratio Live, always flyer and ice. You got that going as well. Fourth and Go Radio, Sports Skill Radio, The Final Judgment. And as always, right here, Heat Ratio Live, every Tuesday from 7 to 8:30 next week. We'll be talking some live bets as well. Opening Major League Baseball season. Make sure you're checking me out at Win Daily Sports. Every single day we're doing the MLB stream coming up, which is going to be exciting. Fantasy Firebox on Saturday and Sunday. And then as well, Sirius Satellite Radio every Saturday and Sunday night from 9 to 11. Check us out on the Win Daily Show, where we make your life a profit center. What do you got, Al?
How did we forget Big Dog?
Glenn Robinson, man.
Big Dog. That's why I was like, we're missing somebody obvious.
But he did not play anywhere near the Paul Pressey era.
But but Big Dog, man, produced finest, man.
Big Dog was very nice.
Ray Allen.
Yeah, Ray Allen.
Yeah, Ray
Allen. Too. But
Absolutely.
Big Dog used to tear it up.
Well, I think Ray Allen was so obvious, we kind of just didn't throw it out there. But and again, as always, make sure you're following the show. Every single day, you'll be stuff popping up and following the site. And from our great sponsor, Prime Roofing, www.primeroofingpa.com. Lot of stuff to digest. Again, enjoy this Sixers show, or Sixers game. What are we, third quarter, Al?
Third quarter. With 7 minutes left.
21.
And 21, listen, let's just get it right. Let's look for a really good draft. Hoping to have a live draft show as well here with more info on that as well. And if you're down to Major League Baseball, open day for the Phillies at Citizens Bank Park, I will be down there. Hit me up, man. I'd love to shake your hand and thank you for all the support as always. But everybody from here, from us, from me, from Dan, from Al, and the whole Heat Ratio family, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll catch you right back here next week.